Hello and welcome to another Tribal Wars event. This week it is Standard Tribal Wars and I've decided to play Merfolk for some reason. The deck is basically an intersection between +1/+1 counter, synergy and artifacts. So we've got Benthic Biomancer with an adapt and a loot when it gets a +1/+1 counter, Combined Guild Mage, puts extra +1/+1 counters on things when they come into the battlefield, or you can move them around. Merfolk Skydiver puts +1/+1 counter and it can proliferate. And then Zagana, when it enters the battlefield, if you control another creature with a +1/+1 counter, draw a card. Gives everything with +1/+1 counters trample, and it can adapt for. And then on the artifact side, we've got Emery Lurk with the Lock. Is the reason why I'm messing around with artifacts at all. So when it enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you can choose to artifact card in your graveyard when you cast that card this turn. So to targets for Emery are Witching Well, is a cheap artifact that I can sacrifice to put in the graveyard. Golden Egg, just draw the card and you can sacrifice it either to gain life or to do some mana fixing. Chromatic Lantern, which is useful for Chamber Sentry, which is +1/+1 counter for each colour of mana spent to cast it. And you can pay all 5 colours to return it from your graveyard to your hand, and it has the ability to tap to remove X +1/+1 counters to deal damage to any target. And then Stonecoil Serpent, which is a reach, trample, protection, multicoloured, X-sized creature. So these are where the artifact theme intersects with the +1/+1 counter theme, and that is everything in the deck. So let's let's give it a try. And here we are for round 1. I'm on the draw versus Bandit Keith, and this is a bit of a slow hand. Got turn 1 Temple into Combined Guild Mage into Chromatic Lantern into 4/4 Chamber Sentry. I think I should probably keep, but there is certainly a chance that I'll be pretty far behind, depending on what Bandit Keith is playing, obviously. Alright, Keith's mulligan to 6. Okay, and kept at 6. And we're starting with an Edgewell Innkeeper apparently. Okay, that's fine. Merfolk Secret Keeper. It's probably not worth as much as a Scry at this point. I don't think I need another land at this point. Two Edgewell Innkeepers. Is there going to be no second land? Oh no, there you go. So kind of a clunky mana draw with the forest into the thing that requires a swamp, but I can understand why keeping 2 Edgewell Innkeepers was desirable. Alright, yeah, I don't think there's anything to do except play Combined Guild Mage. So presumably that swamp was just drawn, otherwise you'd play it before the castle. Just a 2/2 flyer, can't block, that draws 2. So that was the Curry Favour side of Smitten Swordmaster. You gain X life and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control, this is just 1. So Stonecoil Serpent as reach, so it can block the flyer. Or I could just... Well, I could play a Chamber Sentry for 2, just because I want to get these Edge Rolling Capers dead as soon as possible. Or I could wait until after the Chromatic Lantern to play the Chamber Sentry. Yeah, I think I do need to put the Chamber Sentry down to start killing off these Edge Rolling Keepers before I get completely buried by them. And then I'll just mill myself with Merfolk Secret Keeper or Venture Deep. If not hit anything, I mean, I hit Stonecoil Serpent, which can become relevant if I draw an Emery, but nothing of value in the graveyard quite yet. That was one card on top with the Temple Scry. And my Chamber Sentry got ended swiftly. So I could play a full force Stonecoil Serpent, or I could Chromatic Lantern and play the Merfolk Secret Keeper in a Temple or something. I think I prefer to play the big Stonecoil Serpent. And down comes a Falmar Knight, which reasonably effectively roadblocks the Stonecoil Serpent. Okay, so this begs the question as to whether Bandit Keith has missed the fact that the Stonecoil Serpent has reach, or has some reason for attacking into it. I'm struggling to think of what that reason would be. I'm just going to take the risk and block. 2 damage spell or something? Or... Ah, which is Vengeance. Okay. What was named? Chose Construct. This is not a construct, it's just a snake. So that all went surprisingly well for me. I think, yeah, the Chamber Sentry is a construct, but the Stonecoil Serpent is not. Oh, let's go for a Zagana. And just another land. I think I'm fine running the Stokehold Serpent into the Death Touch guy. And my options are to play the 0-4 or the Temple. I think the Temple's more important at this point. Yeah, I don't mind that. That was the Adventure of Order of Midnight, targeting the other Order of Midnight in the graveyard. So. And that's that Order of Midnight bringing back the Death Touch Knight, Torment Knight. And the Temple Scry goes to the bottom. I think here I want to play at the Chromatic Lantern and then just make the Stonecoil Serpent a 4-4. And then I can start messing around with Chambers Sentry, Recursion. So this might attack the Combined Guild Mage. Probably should have done that first, but there you have it. So that's a Order of Midnight coming in from an adventure. And a Lucky Clover. So I'm probably going to get start being just overwhelmed by card advantage. I'm losing 2 creatures, and now I have the joy of tapping all the mana for with Chromatic Lantern out. Green, blue, white, and I get a 3/3. So yeah, Bandit Keith up to 8 cards in hand right now, with another further 2 creatures in the exile zone. And there goes my chamber sentry. So I am in a very bad position here. If it wasn't super obvious. Oh wait, let me think for a second. So I'm going to be taking minimum 4. Since the Farmar Knight will definitely attack. Yeah, I don't think it's worth playing the green pool untapped. I mean, if precedent is anything to go past this, this will not survive the turn. So there's not much point in making it a 5/5 anyway. It's just going to die on sight. Another innkeeper. There's no point in trying to kill the innkeepers, trying to hold off the trying to fight the flow of card advantage. This will name construct now. Yep, as predicted, died on site. I'm fairly confident I can just concede at this point, but yeah. So that was a game where the opponent played 2 Edgewall innkeepers on the play, and I didn't have I wasn't able to kill them. Alright, let's keep this. Maybe if I'm on the play, a chamber sentry will manage to last long enough to kill off an Edgewall innkeeper. Okay. Kind of surprised just playing out the Farmar Knight as a 1/1 death touch. So things that are tempting to me here are playing out the golden egg to get an extra draw to try and make sure I get my land drop for next turn, or just playing out a 2/2 chamber sentry so I can shoot down this Farmar Knight. Yeah, I'm going to go for the chamber sentry. There's a lucky clover. let's try and I'll try and golden egg for a land this turn. Nope. Willing to trade off the Farmer Knight because I'm so constricted on mana at the moment. I don't want to be spending it to ping creatures really. So there is a bunch of 1/1s. To get the Lustrate Beast into attack mode. And I'm still missing land drops. Alright, so I can Wishing Well and then sack the golden egg for blue to play the Benthic Biomancer. Ah, there are my lands. And a Midnight Reaper. So I definitely do not want to trade at this point. Okay, it's Chrome Lantern. Don't think I have a much better option this turn. I think I'm willing to trade off with the Farmer Knight here. I don't love it, obviously, giving the opponent cards, but I just have to protect my life total right now. Especially with a Lustrate Beast coming now. See what I've got on top. Another Chamber Sentry. Alright, well I think that's fine. I can play 4/4 Chamber Sentry now, and then 5/5 next turn. Alright, well that's not good for me, and this shuffles away my my other one, but definitely do want the land. I'm taking 10 here down to 2. So I guess I just play all the creatures in my hand, put as many blockers into play as possible. I think I'm going to make all of them 2/2s. Just so any of them can eat a 1/1, and any of them can trade with the Midnight Reaper. Well, I suppose if there's any removal, I'm just dead here. Okay, surprising. So yeah, if you killed one of the blockers, oh, that doesn't matter anyway. Right, okay, we're into round 2 against Kumagoro. I am on the draw again. This seems like an acceptable hand. I've got a curve, so, you know, nothing to complain about there. Don't really need either of those. Oh, I know that Kuma is playing Naya Giants, by the way, so there's that. Stone Coil Serpent. Let's just go with a Combine Guild Mage. Might die to Stomp, but no, apparently not. Looks like Kuma's got a pretty clunky draw. I know he said he just misclicked through his turn. And there is the Stomp. So yeah, let's just Chromatic Lantern and play the Benthic Biomancer. Seems like the best use of my mana. There's Fertile Footsteps. It's the search your library for basic land. Let's play a 5/5 Stone Coil Serpent. Or I could adapt the Biomancer and then Merfolk Skydive with the Biomancer. I think I just prefer getting the 5/5 down. So Curious Route, search your library for up to 2 lands or basic lands or gates. Ooh, Emery. That is quite nice. What do I want to do here? Let's adapt. Ditch the Merfolk Secret Keeper. Play the Diver. Play the Biomancer again. Ditch the other Secret Keeper, I suppose. And then play Emery. Attack for 8. Did I hit anything? No, I did not. And there's Cast Off to ruin my day. He's still got a Wishing Well to restock. I suppose I should play the Cold Knight first. to draw anything relevant. Now I'm going to be facing a slew of very large giants. So I kind of need to draw like a stone cold serpent or something. For a chamber sentry, that also works. So eat the Bone Crush and probably just trump these. Does not trample, does it? No, it's just a vanilla large creature. Definitely Clarion clears out my chamber sentry. And there's the Realm Cloak Giant coming out for adventure. Right, nothing really to do except for bring this back. Play it as a 4/4, I suppose. At least this way, as a 4/4, it'll survive another Death and Clarion to be able to jump the Beanstalk Giant. Escapes the wilds. Play them against that cards until the end of your next turn. So I think I'm just dead here. I'm not exactly sure what I could draw to get me out of. Maybe a 12/12, 7/7, and a 5/5. That won't do it. I think I can keep this. I've got a Temple Mystery and the Scry and the looting to be able to find my third land. Yeah, there we go. guess I'm just going to Benthic Biomancer and adapt it. This way I can play Zagana next turn and actually get the +1/+1. Sorry, get the draw of having a +1/+1 counter in play. No red mana out of Kuma yet. It's going to change now, I suppose. Zagana will at least survive a Deafening Clarion. If one is forthcoming, although it won't survive a cast off. A Rampart Smasher. Can't be blocked by Night Sword Walls. Okay. So the Snowcoal Serpent has protection from multicolored, so that could attack through the Rampart Smasher. Or I could play Merfolk Skydiver to fly over. I could activate the Combined Guild Mage to get a 3/3 Merfolk Skydiver or something. And a 2/2 Benthic Biomancer plus an extra loot. This is I need to figure out the right balance between playing too much out into a face of a cast off and actually applying enough pressure to be able to win before the Giants just take over the game. Right, I'm gonna go with the Stonecoil Serpent. Because this way, if there is a cast off to destroy my entire board, I will be left with the flyer for post the cast off to be able to fly over, potentially win the game. Okay, just gonna escape to the wilds. There's the cast off the next turn. So I can't adapt. I don't got enough mana to adapt the Zagana. So I'm just going to attack with everything except the Combined Guild Mage, and then I can mess around with moving counters around to where it's most favourable for me. Alright, so I'll move counter over to the Zagana to get rid of this Rampart Smasher. Do 6 damage. And just play Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, there's the cast off. And now we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can play a 5/5 Chamber Sentry and a Merfolk Skydiver. So these are not playable now at this point. Yeah, it's just until the end of the next turn. So Kuma's still got 6 cards in hand though, so there's still plenty to you can probably do. Okay, takes out the 2/2. Doesn't have a second red to play the Bone Crusher Giant out though, which is convenient. And there's a 4/4. So I go attack for 5. That just elicits a chump block. And then, oh sorry, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not quite enough to do what I wanted, which is return the Stone Coil Sentry, the Chamber Sentry rather, and then play it as a 3/3, and then even through blockers I'd have 8 damage of 8 points direct damage. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just play out the Emery, and then return the other Chamber Sentry at end of turn. Wait, is this only sorcery speed? No, it's not. Okay, good. Okay, Beanstalk Giant coming down. Comes back the Chamber Sentry. So I think what I'm going to do is play the Chamber Sentry as a 3/3. And I can, if next turn is just an attack from the Beanstalk Giant, I can chomp it or block it with the Chamber Sentry, and then remove 5 +1/+1 counters to do 5 damage straight to his face. And then I'll have the other thing will be the Chamber Sentry about to kill him next turn, and if there's a board sweeper, then I've got 5 mana to be able to bring back a Chamber Sentry at end of turn. I suppose if I'd made it a 4/4, then it would have survived a Deafening Clarion. Could have made it a 4/4 and brought back the Stone Coil Serpent with Emery as a 4/4. Okay, cast off. So now the question is it better to do 5 damage to Kuma's face or bring back put on the Chamber Sentry back in my hand? think it's probably better to put one of the Chamber Sentries back in my hand. Tempting as it is to deal 5 damage to him. Three, 4, 6, 7, 8. So I could play a 5/5 Chamber Sentry and Benthic Biomancer. Just Benthic Biomancer just as a jump blocker. And wishing well, I suppose. Do I need either of these? There's another Escape to the Wilds. God, it's not super clear which ones of these are the old ones. I think that was just All Lantern and Arboreal Grazer. Oh, that's annoying. So now I have to chomp with the Chamber Sentry. And Kuma's getting up to 18, so I'm definitely lost this game. What have I got on top? Nope, don't need another forest. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could bring back Chamber Sentry and play as a 3/3, but I'm just spinning my wheels basically. It's just a lot of chomp, so I think it's better to sacrifice the Witching Well. See if I can get anything going with that. Wow, that was a horrible draw. So yeah, I'm just super dead, man. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, let's not mess around. Oh, that was unfortunate. Okay, we're into round 3. I'm on the play against Dion Mag, and let's see if I can regain some pride in the deck after this run of getting crushed. So no green mana. I think I'm going to keep this because I've got the Benthic Biomancer loot, and if I just need to get to 3 mana to be able to play the Chromatic Lantern, 3 of any mana to get to Chromatic Lantern, and then I'll have all the colours. And I'll at least be able to play out a 0/4 as defense. Alright, let's go Benthic Biomancer. So something in black. So I guess maybe I need to have Witch's Vengeance on my mind. Yeah, let's just adapt the Benthic Biomancer. I should just ditch the Merfolk Secret Keeper. That's a good use for it. There goes the Biomancer. And there goes my Chromatic Lantern. Good thing I drew a forest. I can go to do Skydiver, which, if it's, assuming it survives, will allow Zagana to draw me a card. There's not really any reason to go straight for a 0/4, so let's just stop my graveyard for whatever the name of the 3-mana Merfolk is. Cast artifacts from the graveyard. So Thirsty Aerialist. Maybe you gain life by 1/1 counter on the Thirsty Aerialist. Okay. Well, at least my Skydiver survives, so you get to play Zagana. Chamber Sentry. Not so great without the Chromatic Lantern. What's this on the end step? Possibly that was accidentally clicking through the second main phase. Yeah, looks like that's what it was. So, I guess I could activate the Skydiver to add 1 extra counter. That doesn't seem worth as much as playing a Temple and playing a 2/2 Chamber Sentry. That ran at the 0/4. Thank you. Vampire of the Dire Moon. These dies pretty easily to the Chamber Sentry. Right, then try to pass the turn, and then I'll see what DM Mag does before I decide whether I want to kill anything, or proliferate, or activate the Adapt on Zagana. Probably I'll want to ping away the Vampire of the Dying Moon just to stop the Bloodthirsty Aerialists from getting bigger. Just a Barony Vampire. Okay, but no attack means just adapt. Get an 8/8 out there. And yeah, I guess I'll just attack with Zagana. Kind of imagine it's just going to get blocked by the vampire, but ping it away. Zagana's got trample, so the doesn't matter that I'm doing it now. And then let's proliferate to get an extra point of damage. You. Tap Breeding Pool. So, DMI's got to at least have a removal spell for the Chamber Sentry to survive. Or gain some life, which I assume he probably does have the capacity to do in his deck, given these things. Let's just go for the simple kill. There we go. Right, so here we go, Emery, that's what she's called. So yeah, I think I'm okay with this hand. Again, I can Benthic Biomancer adapt to get to the third land. Or I don't need to. So I kind of want to play Benthic Biomancer so I can either trade the vampire or prevent it from attacking. Yeah, I suppose I can go Benthic Biomancer, Golden Egg on turn 2, and then Emery on turn 3, and the Temple, so that's alright. Yeah, I'm happy to trade off with the get rid of the Death Toucher and kill a lifelinker before the 3 mana guys that grow and gain life come down. Right, I don't think I've changed my game plan. Golden Egg. So next turn I can even Witching Well, Emery and Temple. Ooh, this might be a problem. So I could also crack the egg to get 2 mana for 2 colours to play the Chamber Sentry. Or I can just, you know what, I'll play a 1/1 Chamber Sentry which can trade off with Child at Night. That gives me 2 artifacts to play Emery. Play the Temples, find another land. disfigure. And another disfigure, so I'm in a bad spot now. What I'm going to do is Chromatic Lantern them. Chromatic Lantern and play the Merfolk Skydiver maybe. I can trade with the Child of Night. Oh, but then, yeah, Bloodthirsty Aerialist becomes 5/6 at that point. The Chamber Sentry can't get big enough to kill that. Okay, I'm just going to play a 1/1 Chamber Sentry again to try and trade off with the Child of Night and play the Witching Well. I think I really need more lands here. I don't know what I need, to be honest. Okay, so that's even worse for me. Play the Skydiver and just crack the Golden Egg, I think. Okay, so cracking the gate. Oh no, it'll let me survive, but I'm not sure I have a way out. I don't think I have a way out of this. Yeah, that certainly won't do it. Yeah, I'm just dead. Okay then. Well, this seems alright with the Witching Well Scry and play a 2/2 on turn 2, and then also I can just play Emery on turn 2. Yeah, I don't think that would really work. No artifacts hit the bin. Definitely don't want to trade off Emery for the Vampire. Whenever you surveil for the first time each turn, just 1 damage for each opponent and you gain 1 life. Okay. Just gonna play a 1/1 Chamber Sentry. Or did I just play? Oh, I played a 0-0 chamber century. That's not what I meant to do. Fortunately, Emery lets me try again. And a 2/2 Stonecoil Serpent. Which is Vengeance. Probably needs to name Merfolk, yeah. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have played the island to crack the Witching Well. Which is Cottage is the... You need 3 swamps for it to go into... 3 other swamps for it to come into untapped. And let's put a creature on top of you. From your graveyard on top of your library. Okay. So if DMI's got any removal or anything here, I can just ping off the Vampire with the Dire Moon. But target opponent reveals a hand, you choose a non-land card from it, play discards that card and a mass one. Okay. So I'll use a Combine Guild Mage, but fortunately I very wisely left the Emery on top of my library instead of drawing it with the Witching Well. And I hit another Chamber Sentry. Card went on top of the library, another Witch's Vengeance. So there goes Emery. You see, I kind of want to crack the Witching Well so I know what I'm going to draw before I decide whether I want to trade off here. At the same time, I kind of don't want to crack the Witching Well because I know that DMI's got discard spells. Oh, what are the odds I'll hit something that can be duressed? Okay, just another Vampire of the Dire Moon. I think a Benthic Biomancer, adapt it, and then Merfolk Skydiver it. Or I could... Maybe it's better to put this on the Skydiver itself so I can proliferate it. No, I think I want to find something that's a little bit less vulnerable to just a single piece of removal. I'm not really finding it. Ugh. Too many Witch's Vengeances. Too many lands. Okay, Chromatic Lantern at least lets me bring back the Chamber Sentries. No, let's do it in a turn. Because, like I said, Diamag is playing discard spells. I think I'm just going to play it as a 3/3. Or, you know what? I'm actually going to play it as a 1/1 and play the Combine Guild Mage and then bring back the other Chamber Sentry. Because I'll probably want to trade off the Chamber Sentry with one of these, either in combat or by pinging. And then I can just get it back again after that. Okay, that's fine. Trade off there. And another one. I suppose this time I'll play it as a 4/4. Oh. No, I'm going to bring back the other one and play both of them as whatever they are, something not big. 2/2s I suppose they'll be. And trade off again. And bring it back. Play as a 4/4. So I can attack for 2 as well. Just the Barony Vampire. Ooh. That's not bad. counter on itself, so it can proliferate everything. Attack with one Chamber Sentry. And then end of turn I can mess around with proliferation and pinging and such. Let's proliferate myself just for fun. Okay, I think what I'll do is block here, ping for one, and Child of Night. And I'll still trade off, and I can bring it back again. Or I could just make a very, very large Stone Cold Serpent. I think I like that better. Go 10-10. We just trample protection from multicolored. Yeah, that doesn't do much. Takes out the proliferate guy, but let's just attack for 15. Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's any reason to pick this over playing the bringing back the Chamber Sentry. So I can do that end of turn, or just adapt Zagana. Just adapt Zagana since I've not had a chance to do it yet. Attack for 23. Alright then, managed to claw back from my unfortunate, or let's go with unfortunate opening of O2ing and win the final match. And there we have it with a not super impressive 1 and 2 finish. Did I learn anything from this? Well, I think Merfolk are probably not very good in standard right now. In case that wasn't too obvious from just looking at the list of available Merfolk. I think the deck worked in as much as it did what it was supposed to do. It's just that what it was supposed to do wasn't really as powerful as what the other decks were doing. I mean, I didn't have enough removal or sort of value generation to be able to compete with the adventure deck, and then I wasn't able to apply enough pressure to outrace the giants before they did all their powerful things. Did manage to take out the vampires, but they're kind of a not very well supported tribe, as are Merfolk at the moment in standard. Chamber Sentry was pretty good as a recursive creature, but not super great as a means of removal. Just the fact that it takes mana and it has to tap, so it takes an entire turn, meant that, well, it certainly wasn't very good at taking out those Edward Keepers, which died before it could ever do that. Still, I mean, I think it was a pretty good card just because of the recursion. Did I ever activate Combine Guildmage? Oh yeah, I think I did once to move a +1/+1 counter. So that wasn't super great. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any 2-mana Merfolk that could really take its place in standard right now. Zagana was only okay. Emery, Lurker of the Larkus is pretty good. It's probably the only really good Merfolk card in standard right now. The rest are okay. Are only okay. So yeah, I had some fun with the deck, but I would not really recommend Merfolk right now. Thank you very much for watching.